Hi guys. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Mwah. It's June 2024, and as you know, June has already started. Thank you so much for your patience. God bless you. Um, it's been quite a whirlwind. I don't know how things are going on at your end, but I literally have not had a chance to sit down until yesterday, and then today I was just and then just so much has been happening. So I wonder for you, are you also having a lot of destiny points? Remember how the guides were telling us since when were they really telling us? Since I think, yeah, since the end of last year, they were saying, hey guys, straight up between April to about July, August, we're going to be experiencing a lot. Remember? So far, here we are in the midst of midst of June, and I have spoken to so many people who have changed jobs, who have changed relationships, who have changed homes. Like we're talking deep structural energies. And if you've been following up with the weekly readings, and again, I just posted the one for June today, so hopefully you can get that on my Instagram channel. But if you were keeping up with that, they were talking about the energies for last week were big around the home, and specifically speaking in terms of the space, right? Remember how they talked about if you, for example, park your car down the block because you can't find parking in front of your house, then your car would not be included in the messages for last week. But last week it was all about getting your house in order, right? So, May was the month of divine intervention. That energy is still continuing. You know how energies go, guys. It just flows. So that energy is still continuing. We've been getting a lot of divine intervention, a lot of integration as well. So a lot of you, if you're having ideas pop up that are just like, whoa, that's really smart, that's very resourceful. Where are those energies coming from? Where are those ideas coming from? It's coming from the divine. And when I say the divine, I'm talking about your higher self, right? Of course, it's also from your spirit team, your angels, your guides, your ancestral lineage. But just know that you have a lot of support. The goal is to get you to your optimal reality. So always remember that spirit wants you to succeed. In fact, it's the same as it's the same as flow. Flow is always there. It's not about why isn't the flow coming to me or coming through me. It's really why am I blocking the flow? Why am I not experiencing what should be here? And that in and of itself is an invitation to inquiry, right? So yeah, it's pretty straightforward, especially if you follow this channel, you know what's up, right? Oh, also, if you had a chance to check on see the live that I was on recently as a guest, thank you so much for coming out. Yay! And also, thank you so much for watching on replay. If you haven't, the replay is up on my YouTube channel, and it's my pleasure to have you come through. I was a guest on Astro Shaman, I like that name, Astro Shaman Pernell Bobby's channel on YouTube. So definitely go and check him out. He does a lot of great work, just shamanic work, also clearly astrology, as you saw, a lot of other things as well. We didn't really get into on the show because it had like a specific theme there, but we didn't really get into talking about more of what he does, but he just does a lot of other work on in the energetic field. So I just wanted to let you know. So if you want to get a reading from him or if you'd like to follow up on his channel, please feel free to go through and do that. And if you just want to come and check your girl, that's me on there, you can go and do that as well. And I like being guests. I've been a guest on two podcasts so far, and I did two lives with my friend back in the day. Remember, if you follow this channel. And so I noticed I do enjoy being guest. It's fun. It's nice to just go and do stuff. All right, so let's see what's coming up. Yep, okay. For us. Oh, okay. All right, so hold on. Oh, let's do a little energy work before we jump in. Okay. So if you'd like to participate in the energetic part, you can just go ahead and say, yes, please. And if you'd rather not, just go ahead and say, I'll wait. And then you can still stay here. It's your intention to receive or not receive. That will determine whether that flow is directed to you. But all I'm going to do is I'm going to come in and I'm already in there, by the way. I'm just going to come in and flush your energy field here. I see a lot of yeah, DNA. A lot of us have been going through some DNA challenges they're saying. Interesting. So some DNA upgrades, DNA changes, but there have been a lot of challenges related to it in some way. It could be it's reading a little bit like resistance. It's all internal, by the way. It's a little bit reading like resistance somewhere. So just go ahead. Also, I do feel that there's some challenges in the form of very old ancient energies and codes and whatnot that are stuck in certain meridians or that are still there or still, it's almost like still playing, and we need to stop it from playing like on a piano, stop it from playing so that the new upgrades can come in and play. So the best thing that you can do, we're talking about alchemical work, by the way. So the best thing that you can do in the meantime to allow these energies to come through and really uh, take shape for you and to take form and to lend themselves to you is to set the intention to receive. Now, even though I'm talking about this in terms of the level where energetic codes are coming in and DNA changes are being made, we can also see this dynamic playing out in relationships. So let's say, for example, you've just met someone new. It could be a friend, it could be a long lost family member, it could be someone romantic or potential romantic partner. The point is, with this energy that's incoming, there could sometimes be resistance, because let's say, for example, someone is coming in, and maybe if you could project yourself a few years down the line, you'll be like, oh my god, that became my wife or my husband or my new best friend, or the person who became the surrogate for my child, like something like this. Years down the line, if you can look back on now, you'll probably be like, oh my god, I didn't even know that's who they were. And here I was having all these walls up, having my resistance up, not allowing this person in because I had an idea of who they were and what they were coming to do, aka mess up my life, mess up my trajectory, screw up whatever I had going on. And I'm seeing here the card is just peeking out very quickly. It's giving me devil vibes as well. Oops, can you see it? The Three of Swords, which is that sadness, that it's like, yeah, it's that sadness card. Right behind it is the Nine of Swords. There we go. The crying in the car, crying in the shower card. Look at these two cards. If you can you spot it? This is some advanced magic eye, right? But look, anyway, you could see it, right? The crying in the car, crying in the shower, depression, the sadness that's lingering in there, grief, even though this isn't a grief card, right? Spirit wants us to clean all of that up. How do we clean all of that up? We have the Ace of Cups card, gently going through it with these fuzzies here, but the Ace of Cups card, bring in the love. So ask Spirit, oh, didn't we just flush? Yeah, we flushed. When I'm talking about flushing, I'm not talking about, I'm talking about flushing through the system. So I think that that's what they were saying right here. So calling in these energies from above, the light, the love, the alchemical, I don't know how to say it, etheric waters, whatever it is I'm seeing and feeling, trying to translate it, pull it in. It feels, you know what it feels like? It feels akin to, like, think of the most crisp, crystalline cold water that you could drink on a very thirsty day after a hike, something like that's how cooling and how refreshing and how cleansing and how clearing that energy is. Pull that through and let it push through your old programming, your old grief, all of those things. And when you do that, what you're doing is you're creating the conditions within for newness to come through. And of course, we just use the example of a relationship. But as I'm talking about this now, I know that the energies are flowing because now I'm getting other examples. I'm seeing also the example of new jobs, new positions, new opportunities. Remember, it is only you within, what you've got going on within, that determines what can come to you, and not only what can come to you, but uh the quality of what that is when it shows up. So really, it's your game that we're playing here. That's one of the messages that is coming through as we flush these energies out. So let me just turn my attention to your feet, some of you here. Some of you, I see that you're really on the way out with some stuff, because it looks like a little bit like, if your feet have a lot of blood pooled around it inside, not like weirdly outside. What would that be? But like like if it's red and inflamed, it's because maybe you've been doing a hard workout, or maybe you stubbed your toe or something. There's a lot of blood in that area, so it's like inflamed, it's swollen. So I just see that at the tips of the toes, so that's showing me that something is really on its way out. And right now, if that sounds like you, something you're dealing with in your life, don't worry, you could just go ahead and give it that last push that you need. Now, here's the thing, here's the magician energy of it. What is it that you'd like that last thing to be, that you'd like to push out, right? It's like being the alchemical magician slash doctor for yourself. If there, think about it this way, if there is something there on its way out that could just use a push of your intention to be out now and to be done and over with, what would you like that to be? So go ahead and imagine that and just go ahead and push it out. A great example of that would be maybe the habit of playing small, maybe the habit of expecting that you're not good enough, or that something that, wow, something that you actually want would actually want you back, like those things. Push that out. What would it be like to live in a state of mind? Because that's all we do. We live in states of mind, and you could see that state of mind look right outside if you just go ahead and look around. Like right now, my mind might be blurry because like what we're seeing is all these cute little blurry areas, right? But on a serious note, what is it that you would like your state of mind to be? You are what you think, whatever is going on there. So a great example of that would be, imagine a state of mind where you have an opportunity come to you and you actually believe that, wow, this opportunity was made for me and it's going to be for me, and I'm just going to let it be for me, and that's it. As opposed to be like, wow, this seems pretty cool, can it be for me? But why would it be? Like, look at me, and I don't have this education, or how am I going to get there, or just all sorts of stuff. Just again, you believing it and you not believing does go to a certain degree towards how its ability to show up for you, and then on top of that, what quality it is. But remember that really the best thing and the only thing that we really could do is to control the way that we approach things and the way that we respond to things, which generally are one and the same. Right? So just do your part to remain open to that which you believe in alignment with source will be in your best interest, and in alignment with source, work towards believing that what is not in your best interest will pass you by. And therein comes the next step of acceptance, right? The serenity prayer, what is it? God grant me the serenity to accept the things that we cannot change. Wait, what is that? Is that it? Hold on, let's work this out together. God, you guys are probably screaming at the screen. It's God grant me, right? God grant me the serenity to accept the things that I cannot change, the courage to change the things that I can, and the wisdom to know the difference. Yay! Don't doubt, guys. Don't doubt. Right? So therein is everything that you need to walk through this life. All right, so let's get going. The energy, well, we've been going, but the energy that I'm seeing here pop up, and oh my God, look at the clarity of that. Wow, looks like I just have to put it in front of me. What does that mean? Look at this, the King of Swords, who also has something going on with his perception. Now, the King of Swords is a great decision maker, guys. Great decision maker. Um, but sometimes the King of Swords may not have the perception or the perspective needed to make a decision that is in the highest. We all love our decision makers, but God have mercy on those who have no heart. Okay? Okay, I just want to put that out there. We know it, we see it all the time. And let's be honest, sometimes we've been in that role. So as we move into this month, and this is June, this is giving me real gem energy, Geminis. As we move into this month and we use our mindset to make decisions, please be mindful that when you actually take action, it's following a thought, and that thought is following a core belief, and that core belief, we really want to always do our best to be aware of it. Otherwise, if we're not, then we're kind of just doing our best out there. And especially if we don't have mindfulness. Mindfulness is basically your agreement with yourself to take a moment to pause before you act and to look at what you're thinking. What am I thinking? What am I feeling? That is the space that you create for yourself to have a reaction, right? Because we don't want to respond in life. Excuse me, we don't want to react in life. We want to respond. So you're going to have a stimulus. You're going to react, right? But whoa, before I take action, let me stop and let me think about it. Let me check in. What am I feeling? Why am I feeling this? Where is it coming from? Who am I blaming for this? How is it actually myself? This is called reflection. And that is the art of mindfulness. It's not only the art of mindfulness, it's the act of mindfulness. And then you respond um, however you choose to respond. Because remember, whether you're responding from a place of mindfulness or reacting from a place of unconsciousness, you're still making a decision. And so for us, we sometimes see things as not having been a choice. Whereas the other side is actually, well, you're going to have to hold this L here with this karma because that was a choice that you made. Sometimes an omission to act or an omission to make a choice is a choice in and of itself. And sometimes ignorance does not excuse us from the things that we end up doing, especially in terms of the impact that it ends up having. Now, we also don't want to get into this energy of guilting ourselves or shaming ourselves or other people, because it is also true that sometimes the things that we believe are choices down here are not choices as seen from a higher perspective. And sometimes the things that we see as not having been a choice down here are choices from a higher perspective. And always remember that your friendly local therapist will do a lot of good for helping you to see where there were choices and you didn't take them, or to see where really you had no choice and you're blaming yourself for it. So if your friendly local therapist who does not have the sight, just like us, to see as high as the higher perspectives do, just know that you need to be mindful about what you're doing down here, because there are things that you're doing that your therapist can see that you don't, and forget the things that they're seeing out there that we're not. But on some level of the field, there is a part of you that is seeing this and that is knowing this. And you know this because when you come in to see your girl, for a friendly local reading, and we're having that conversation with your other aspects and your higher self, and even you're like, oh yeah, I guess I was thinking that, oh, I didn't even notice that. Yeah, if we can unravel that in 3 seconds, think about the value that you can have when you choose mindfulness and you sit down and you give yourself the time to be still and to look inside and say, hey, why am I feeling this way? What am I doing? And then it'll come to you, and then you'll realize, oh shoot, all this time when I wasn't being mindful, I've been making choices left and right, and kind of probably not owning it and making it other people's problems when it was actually all mine. And I'm picking up all these L's out here, and I'm calling all these other people ups, and they're doing something to me, when actually, no, this was just me really just engaging the field and receiving that which I put out, which is usually the case. All right. Now, the guides are saying the reason why we're focusing on this message for so long is because the first theme for June is going to be reflection, mindfulness. Now, makes total sense because June, with our Gemini energies, you guys are very, very, very much of the mind. And sometimes, if you have so many things going on in the mind, what's missing? The actual mindfulness. The thing about mindfulness is the application of groundedness to the mind and reflection, right? So that's what we're being asked. The next card we see here, God bless, what is this actually card? Yeah, the Wheel of Fortune. But whenever I pull it out, it really looks at this energy of introspection. It could also look at this energy of being vulnerable and showing your bits. Like, well, okay, showing your bits on the corner. No, I'm just joking. No, I'm showing your bits here, right? And so we see here, what I love is the heart. You see the heart? Oops, can you see it? Super cute. It's right there. This goes both ways because we're talking about self reflection, and we're talking about being mindful, and we're talking about bringing the heart into the equation. Why? So that we can be the responsible King of Swords, so that we can make those top level decisions that, to the best of our ability, are in the best interest of ourselves and in the best interest of others. Now, all of that takes time. You have to reflect on it, because something that seems like it should be in the best interests of others, like I'll just stay late and do this so everyone can be happy tomorrow, would actually not be in the best interest for you. And so there's always this balancing going on. So what is actually being balanced is this heart space. So that's one way of looking at this card here, where we're talking about this self-reflection in order to make better decisions. But the second way that we're looking at this energy here with this exposing of the self is that we're being asked, when we look into others, when we see the vulnerabilities in others, how do we handle it? Can we all say we want to get to know somebody better, right? We're dating somebody new, or we're getting a part of it, becoming a part of a new team, or you in your household, you want to get to know people better. You want to be a better person in the world and all of this, whatever the discourse is. But the minute that they show their flaws, what do you do then? Do you become judgmental? Do you, or what if they show parts of them that you wish that, or that you really admire? Do you then turn it in on yourself and then you start saying, oh, I wish I could be that. Oh, why can't I be like that? Oh, I'm not like that. So this person wouldn't want to have me around. And like the whole point here is it's an extension of this theme of reflection. When you see what is going on with others, assuming that you're even able to see correctly, right? Because, we're out here doing our best to see. But when you see what's going on with others, what does that evoke within you? Because whatever it means to you has nothing to do with what it actually is. Just like what we mean to ourselves really has no bearing on who we really are, because we are creating, excuse me, making, because we create in alignment with source, but we make when we're just doing our thing, right? We're making meaning out of the meaningless. Quick example, when I look in the mirror, yeah, I'm going to see certain things that I'm not going to mention right now, but when I'm going to see certain things and in the mirror, and that's going to make me feel a certain type of way, that's already in falseville, because I'm falsely believing that a mirror even has the purpose to reflect my value. It doesn't have that purpose, and it doesn't have that ability. Its ability is to reflect something like that's in my teeth, right? And for those of you who have the belief that it can also be a portal, you have imbued that item with that property. And so now, so it will be. And yes, you should close it or cover it at night before you go to bed, because you, through your belief, have imbued it. And sometimes those beliefs are lifetimes deep. And so therefore, you're better off covering it, because it's taking you time to dismantle that belief. All of these beliefs are false, okay? There is what is reality with source, and then there's what is not real that we've made. And God, yeah, God, yeah, like spirits, whatever. They went through this whole paradigm discussion back, I believe, in February 2024. So, and I really, really, that was one of my favorite lectures that came through. Go back and check it if you'd like, where they talk about all that stuff. February 2024 monthly reading on my YouTube channel, or on this channel. It's easier to go on YouTube because it's a great archive. It's easier to search for. But they talked about all of that. So the point is, here we are in this unreal space that we call the world. It's just one large perception, misperception, one large collective perception that we've got that is just not real, but it's serving a purpose, right? The purpose that it's serving is the opportunity for us souls to have an experience, experiment, to see what it's like to live in a space where we've forgotten God and we've forgotten reality. So we already know we're in a dream space, right? So when you know that you can't really just go and trust on your perceptions, because they're not true, right? So then you have to leave space for what is true to come through, so to speak. Also, what was I going to say? Wow, there was a lot of messages that wanted to come through there. Hold on. I want to see if there's something else. Anyway, there probably is, but long story short, reflection. When you're looking out at other people and you are seeing what's going on with them. Oh, oh yeah, okay. Oh, sorry. Hold on. I want to talk a little bit more about the imbuing of properties. But I also, okay, anyway, we're talking about looking outside and understanding that uh, we want to see whatever we see is false, but we want to see what we think we're seeing evokes within us, right? But at the end of the day, whatever it evokes within us, we have to look at it, because it's like, if it evokes a sense of low self-worth, poverty consciousness, jealousy, all of that, that is not really what it is that we're looking at. It's we don't know what we're looking at. What we're actually looking at is God embodied in some vessel that we gave meaning to. So this is the imbuing of meaning onto something else, the same way that we imbue meaning onto ourselves, the same way that when I look in a mirror, I'm only seeing the false meaning. I'm seeing myself, which is actually absolutely meaningless, but then I look at it and I think all these things about whether I'm valuable enough for that job or for that person or blah blah blah, that this is all false. And on top of that, you think about it, every lifetime that you come down here with, you come down with a different personality. In fact, some people, and I see in client sessions, they are, especially those ones who are very strong activists about things or whatever, in this lifetime they're strong about certain ideals. In that last lifetime, they were on the opposite team, the team that they actually hate. In this lifetime, they're warring with themselves. This is all it is. And that's why, we have to take several seats sometimes with the way that we approach things in life. We have to get in touch with, what am I feeling? What is this emotion? And because if you're feeling like you need to run towards something, or you need to run away from something, or you have these strong ideas about things, these are electrical charges. This is basically an alert going off to you that you've got some programming or some unresolved emotion, some unresolved trauma, some past lifetime stuff, some subconscious, or whatever you want to say, that is being triggered. It's like going off like a Christmas tree, right? And so then you want to sit and reflect, okay, well, what is this? What's coming up? And do your best. And this is a little bit tough sometimes, but do your best to disassociate your feeling and the meaning that you're making from what it is that you're viewing. Somebody you see and you're out there makes you feel angry. There's my angry eyes. Makes you feel angry and like enraged. You stop, you take those feelings, you own them, and you release the person. Because again, all you're doing is projecting onto that person. This person is evoking within you what you already carry. And so A Course in Miracles talks to us about special relationships, because on some level of the field, which is in reality, we all are one. But down here on this earth, we are in such an individuated state of separation, and it's all false, because separation never occurred. We're inside of all that is. Where would you go? How could I separate from God? Like, where else can I go? Anyway, so it's a mind thing. But think about it, we're so individuated that we actually believe that we're not God, that we're not of God, that we're not inside God, whatever God is. We're just using this term because whatever, right? And then on top of that, that we have our own name, we have our own likes, we have our own skin color, we have our own personality, we have our own past lifetime. All of this is our individual. It's all just showing you the depth of duality. And that couldn't be further away from the reality of oneness, right? We're so steeped that you see me talking to you. And it's like, really, uh, when we are in a state of isness, when we are just in that state of one, there is no language, right? There's no short because there's no tall. There is not two to have comparison. There's no me, there's no you, there's no, right? So that's why we're over here in this false sense of reality, the dream, whether you want to call it, where we have duality, we have polarity, we have multifaceted lifestyles, all of this, but it's not true. And so the power that we have down here is to remember that in any given now moment, you have, or we have, the ability to recognize, see this cute little bird boop, over his eye, we have the ability to recognize what is. And what is that no matter what I think I'm seeing out here, no matter what I think I'm feeling, no matter what I think I'm believing, it's not real. The reality is only love. So then, if you see somebody or an opportunity comes towards you and you have a certain sense of some negative feeling or adverse feeling or sadness or grief or just whatever, that's got to be an invitation to inquiry, because man was not made to feel sadness. So for those of us out here, when we get into our Lieutenant Dan, shout out, I love Lieutenant Dan. Remember Lieutenant Dan? Remember he had that moment on the boat when he was going at it with God and with the hurricane, and it was just so much. And yeah, he was like, "You want me?" Yeah. So anyway, he had it out, but he was good after that. He did his thing. But when we have those Lieutenant Dan moments, we're in our feelings, understandably, because there are just certain things we will never be able to understand in the flesh. You hate that word, in the flesh while we're here, because it's just too painful. So why am I here? Why is this happening to me? Wait, what? Right? We can't understand that. And so we have emotions. But somewhere in the back of your mind, you should do your best to remember I'm having these emotions and it's understandable. Yeah, I hate God, I hate blah, 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 blah. But you understand that that's just the emotion talking, because the mistaken reasoning is that you're having this nightmare experience and that God willed it. What if source has nothing to do with this? What if we're so in our free will that a couple of us was like, let's do this thing. Let's do a thing. Let's make this place called Earth, and let's have this like false reality. Let's go to Recall. Remember Total Recall? Shout out the original with Arnold Schwarzenegger. Love that movie. Let's go to Recall and have these fake adventures. Let's do it. Yeah. And then remember, spoilers, if you didn't see this movie, you're bad. Spoiler alert. And I'm talking about the original. I haven't seen the updated one. But remember then, like later in the end, he got his memories back and he saw that actually he was like a deep undercover person. Anyway, so imagine, and even in Inception, imagine you're having this awakening and awakening and awakening, and eventually you'll get to the place where it's like, wow, whew, that was fun. So what are we doing next? God had nothing to do with you creating all these stuff for yourself or making all these scenarios for yourself and then coming down here and then experiencing all of this. But when we're getting in our feelings, then we're railing out at something that was really had nothing to do with this. Because remember, God can't be love and also be putting you through the ringer. Something's going on. You can't be a God-fearing person and then be tapping into the real God. What is this God? Love and fear are incompatible. So you see, discourse has taken a lot of people down pathways that are just further into unreality. And then the heart space, which has been closed off for so long for a lot of us through conditioning, through trauma, I feel it. We get it, right? That's been gone for so long. That's been off for so long that we're kind of out here just trying to do our best. So the best thing that we can start to do is practice mindfulness, coming back around to this concept for the month of June. Practice mindfulness. And as I'm saying to practice mindfulness, remember mindfulness being you creating the space for yourself to have your emotions, to have your reactions, to have all the gut reactions, all that stuff come up, and to kind of just sit there and like look at it, like think about it, like, damn, like I saw them together and that made me feel like a way. Or, man, I wanted that job and I didn't go for it because I felt a way, like I wasn't deserving. Like, oh, I'm so angry. Like, I'm so angry all the time. And oh, I'm so sad all the time. And like, have a space where you can safely experience this and then make a decision and take an action. That is the space that we should all be aspiring to. When we have a space for it, then we don't just feel these things, because we are going to feel it. Then we don't just feel these things and then it's like, what do I do with it? I'm just going to lash out. Or some people are like, what do I do with it? I'm just going to hold it in. The problem is you didn't create a space for it to healthily have expression. And so it makes sense to hear in this month where we're being asked to reflect and where we're being asked to exercise mindfulness. It makes sense that we would be given the way to do it, and that is to create a space where we can, without shaming, without gaming gaming ourselves, of putting ourselves through all these mental gymnastics, like, oh, okay, what if I was a jerk, like, don't go through all that. Like, oh, hey, I'm having this feeling. What's the feeling? I feel like I'm being a jerk. Okay, all right, well, what's wrong with being a jerk? Well, I don't want to be a jerk because blah blah blah, my father was a jerk, my mother was a jerk, and my cousin was a jerk, and I don't feel like it, and if and jerks in my society aren't really liked, and I just feel like a horrible person. Like, talk all that stuff out and just put it all out. Anytime you feel yourself move back, like, oh, it's just too hard to even have the idea that I could be a jerk, just watch yourself, because then you're going to start to suppress it and you self-deny. That self-denial is literally you taking part of your energy field and pushing it to the back or pushing it out. So what you're doing is you're further fragmenting yourself. Why do we do this? Because we cannot face something head on. And so therefore, when we agree with ourselves, that, hey, we're going to have feelings pop up, and we agree with ourselves to have a cute little bin right here in front of us if you'd like. I mean, you obviously don't envision that there, because now you're creating a structure and people will be like feeling, I don't know, I just feel like trash every time I see them. They're leading with their wounds, like all this stuff, because it's right there, right? But you get the point. I'm saying create a space, or create an opportunity for you to always have a safe way of expressing with yourself and to yourself how you actually feel. And be okay with being the villain. Be okay with being the good one. Be okay with whatever. Be okay with being the affluent one. You know, some of you have programming in your, because from different lifetimes where you were impoverished due to where you were, or you took vows of poverty, or you grew up in this lifetime or other lifetimes in poverty, and you just have certain ideas that money is bad, or you can't make money, or if you have money you're not safe, all sorts of stuff. And all of that is going to make you struggle, especially if you get a little money. You know how, like, oh, I just got money and boom, now my car needs fixing. So it's like, oh, every time I get money, I got to put it somewhere. And then your friend tries to say, oh, but think about it this way. Every time something's about to pop up, money comes in for you. So you actually have what you need when you, right? But why does it have to be like that anyway? Why can't you just have money and have it and have it and have it and have it? And things can pop up or not pop up, and it doesn't really matter, because, well, maybe your programming doesn't allow for it. And anytime money comes in for you, if your programming doesn't allow for it, it's going to arrange the energy around you to fulfill what it does allow for. So anytime you get money, watch yourself. Before you start seizing up or getting any type of way, just start to affirm, wow, this feels great. I'm going to just hold on to this and see how this feels. It's okay to have, you know, money. I can be affluent, and if people see me doing well, then that's okay. I mean, I deserve it, and there's nothing wrong with it. Money comes, it goes, it happens for everybody. Like, you have to work through these things and keep the space for yourself. But if you don't even have a space for things to come up um without hurting yourself, and without being mean to yourself, and without chastising yourself, and being that authoritarian voice, maybe of your family or an institution, to yourself, then what are you doing, right? So, long story short, with this month, things are going to be coming up as you reflect. And as we step into these new energies that we've been, stepping into recently, you really want to create the conditions within for you to be a friend to yourself, to have self-acceptance. If you're feeling disappointed, just acknowledge it. And you know, do a little crying, do a little pouting, feel a little bad about it, have your little pity party for it for a little, and then kind of acknowledge that. Give yourself the pat on your back, on the back, and say, great job. You felt it, you let it go. And also remember that just because you're having an emotion here doesn't mean it's a reflection of what it actually is out there. You may have, and the guides are tapping me on the shoulder to say that a lot of our programming is coming from the DNA. They're like, the DNA. They didn't say it that way, but I'm just adding to show the emphasis. So there's a lot of DNA tweakings, and I'm not really familiar too much with the cellular memory DNA track of all of this and the energy anatomy, but I do know that it's very, very, very influential, and there's a lot going on there. And the guides are saying that there's usually a war being waged over DNA. And if you know, you know. So some of you already know what they're referring to, and I feel like I know a little bit about it, but I'm not going to get into it right now. But just be mindful that when your codes come in, they're saying this is them. They're saying when your codes come in for you, that you take them. Don't send them back. Don't leave them to hang out. Don't resist them. Let these codes, these energy codes, the energy codes come in for you. Because I do see that spirit does send us energy codes. They send us etheric upgrades for the bodysuit, they're saying. It's for the bodysuit. And a lot of that has to do with the mission work that a lot of us are on. We have mission work to do. You will know what that mission is. Um, we also are being asked to consider, and they're saying it, outside influences, because I think they don't want to get into the conspiracy theory on too much right now. It's already been 45 minutes, I think. Has it been? I don't know. Conspiracy theory, but yeah, we do have outside influencers that do try to integrate with us things that are not within our best interest. A lot of people don't understand the energy field, so they're out here putting on a jacket and popping antioxidants or whatever people, and they're like good to go, but they don't understand it's not about the physical body, it's about the non-physical. True true prevention and protection is non-physical, and that manifests into the physical. But look, who am I, right? Who am I? Anyway, so the guides are saying to make sure that when they do send these energy codes for you, you thank spirit, you do all of that. And the reason why you're thanking spirit, we're thanking God and all this is not going through this religious way where it's like because we must come worthy and we must thank and we must humble. It's not that at all. It's understanding energetically that when you are in a state of 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 gratitude and a state of appreciation, it's literally look, it's open. Thank you. That's what this is. This is a thankfulness. So when we're in, look, my solar plexus is just feeling good. It's a thankfulness. It's an openness. It's an appreciation. It's an allowing for flow. And what's the difference with the no thank you, or I'm not good enough, or I don't deserve it? It's a shutting down. And so we can wax poetic through religious lens, through philosophical lens, through logical lens, in philosophy, logic. If we want to go with science and whatever, this is all BS, it's discourse. Just focus on open or shut. When we are in a state of love and openness and flow and heightened sensuality. Yeah, they were saying, I was like, wait, what? Yes. My conscious mind is still checking the words, right? Sensuality, when we are in the space, and sensuality is as part of the creative process, sexuality is part of the creative process, right? All of this stuff, this is an ecstatic awareness. It's an alchemization with nature, with oneness, with all that is. And remember, our chakras, their core goal, they are receptors, because we're all part of one, but look, we're all part of the one, but look, boop, we are an individuation of the one inside of the one. We're all part of God, but we're a boop, little part of God within God. And so we're in a vessel of our own. Ding, ding. Oh, you know what? It's kind of like our organs. Our organs exist inside of the entire body, and each organ has its own lining, right? And then the organs within the chest have a collective lining there to keep them within, right? So that's what these linings do, these sheets, they keep us inside. So for us, we have our own energetic field that we always want to keep shielded, right? So that we can become better stewards of the energetic input and output. Now, so do your shielding, you're praying, you're setting your intention to be protected and all of that stuff. But their chakras are the openings from our vessel, from our field, that allow the universal energy field to come in and be metabolized. So it's the energy exchange that's occurring. So that's why when you're in connection and in proximity with somebody, you don't need to be in proximity to be having this energetic sharing, by the way. That's why we can just do it from across the world, across the universe, but just by thinking about somebody. But when you're in proximity, your fields are mixing. So when you're actually in the act of sexuality with somebody, intercourse with somebody, that's what I'm saying. Listen, we gotta be careful, because and you're that is the ultimate openness. And if that's an energy exchange. We're out here being mindful about the diseases. Listen, we got to be mindful about what else is going on, especially for a lot of us who are very empathic. So mindfulness mindfulness has an application in all areas of our life, whether it's in interrelational things, whether it's in how we intra-relational, how we connect with ourselves, whether it is how we manage the space around us, whether we want to pick up karma or not, right? This is the maturity call of the year, they're saying. So the month of June, yeah, it's following a lot of changes that were happening. We were going through a lot of preparation and shower, they said. I was gonna Showers, do showers as well too. When you're showering, invite the Holy Spirit, the higher self, all of this. It sounds religious, it's not religious. The higher self, the Holy Spirit, your higher guides to come in and help clear and cleanse your energy field. And you can also set the intention to have both a physical and non-physical shower and to go through the cleansing process while you're in there. That's what the guides are saying. But what I was saying is that so far for this year, we've been starting off with doing a lot of preparation for the middle of this year. And we did a lot of, yeah, a lot of shadow work, a lot of healing. We are going through some stuff. And then we started going through some endings, yeah, lots of endings, and then new beginnings. Then we're going through divine intervention now to really assist us with getting up and out, to assist us with understanding the process and what's happening for us. And now we're really adding to, I know every month we're doing seeing a different theme come up, where we're not moving out from one to another or just segueing and leaving everything behind. We are adding to this larger shift, this larger movement, the concept or the practice or the emphasis on what's the word, mindfulness. But as I was saying, looking for the word, I heard them say self retrieval. When we talk about self retrieval, 52 minutes, just checking the time. When we talk about self retrieval, we're basically giving a nod to soul retrieval. Remember, ourself are the parts of us. We always want to be calling back our energy. Call back your energy. When you call back your energy from your partner, from your ex, from your family, from that store you just came from whatever, this is not you leaving them on their own. This is you being a responsible self, because we have it in our language. Oh, when he left, he took a piece of me. You'll always have a piece of me wherever you go, and all this stuff. It's great for love songs, and we all love those in love songs. That we hear those words all the time. But a lot of people are singing those songs, and they're in their heartbreak phase, and they're singing those songs. They're just speaking things over themselves. And a lot of people go out and they're saying, "Someone put a spell on me." Well, listen, I'm just trying to say, you done did that when you were, singing all those words and stuff. um Sometimes take the music away and just read those lyrics and look at what you're speaking. Right. um yeah, especially if you're getting emotionally into it. That's what the universe listens to. The universe is hearing us in terms of emotion. Not that it hears emotion, but it hears the force with which you are exuding this directive, right? Yeah. But self retrieval and soul retrieval is your way to get into soul integration. We did do soul integration earlier this year as well, but soul integration is just going to be always what we're doing, because that is what it means to heal. To heal is to change your mindset. Has nothing to do with body, has nothing to do with the body. The body's a vessel and it's just for this lifetime. If you go to another planet in your next lifetime, what human body? It doesn't matter, right? This is about your mind. If the mind is split and fragmented, it will manifest into illness, accidents, maladies, all these things, unclear thinking, inability to attract that which is in our highest, because the vibration is not there to support those higher frequency timelines, those higher quality things for us, right? This is why we have to pull ourselves together. Pull yourself together. I don't know. I just fell apart when I saw him, and yeah, yeah. Pull yourself together. This is what we're talking about. Oh my God, I was outside of myself. Yeah, yeah, I can't hold it in. Right. Right. So these are words that reflect what's going on for us. I was scattered. When I learned what had happened, I was shattered. I felt like everything thrown into little pieces, and it's fragmentation. I feel like two people sometimes. Oh, I don't know what I want for dinner tonight. Maybe I'll get pizza, or maybe I'll have spaghetti, or maybe I won't eat it all. Like, which one is it? Well, I don't know which part of you is running the ship right now. So when we talk about mindfulness, to close out this, let's see, it's 55, to close out this session here, when we talk about mindfulness, you could see that it has a lot of moving parts, but actually it really doesn't. It just talks about allowing yourself to have the space to self accept. That's it. To have things come up. and self accept. And also, part of the self acceptance period and this practice of self acceptance, which is a long life thing, lifelong thing, we do it every lifetime. That is the goal, to self accept. But part of it is to have forgiveness, self forgive. In fact, I don't even know which one comes first. Do we forgive and then we accept, or we accept and we forgive? But they're kind of two sides of the same coin. Now, when I talk about forgiveness, I'm talking about forgiveness in the sense of how A Course in Miracles defines it. A Course in Miracles defines forgiveness as the recognition that nothing ever happened. And it's looking at it from a higher perspective. The perspective it's looking at down at our situation from or with is that we're in an unreal state, which we already know. We're not one, we're not recognizing the oneness right now. We are in a state of duality. So it's, we can logically say from inside of this state of duality, we are not in a real state, although we're perceiving that we're in a real state. The reality is we are one, but we're perceiving as two. And so this world that we are perceiving ourselves as occupying in isn't real. And it won't, it's going to feel real so long as we are in here and on this planet. And that's going to be, it's going to feel real to different degrees for different people, depending on how steep they are in the programming of this earth and all of that stuff, right? But from the perspective of reality, all of this never happened. You didn't hurt that person. That person didn't burn your building down and massacre you and this and that and these other lifetimes and all. And so all this guilt that we're carrying and all of this shame, lifetime after lifetime, and all of that stuff, we're doing out of a place of nothingness. We're hurting ourselves over nothing. That's the way that spirit is teaching us through A Course in Miracles. And it's not to say it's not to minimize our experience down here, or to say we can run around and just do anything, be anything, or an excuse to be nihilistic and say nothing matters and this and that, right? It is to give you a signpost. And I really believe, this is me personally, but right, who am I? But this is me personally, that if you are getting this message, that it is your time to exit soon. When I say soon, like could be 100 years, whatever, but soon, from this earth school. So this is your awakening process. And where you are in your awakening process is that you need to deprogram on this end. So it's just as part of your graduation. So I don't think these messages and A Course in Miracles and things like that um, are necessarily for everybody. And you also don't have to be in the Course in Miracles in order to be on your way out or finishing up your lessons here, right? It doesn't work that way. But you do have to learn, you do have to deprogram, you have to go through the messages that are in A Course in Miracles, whether or not you ever pick up that book. So it's innate within you. So the point I'm going to leave you with today is to practice the art of forgiveness, self forgiveness, and forgiveness being, and the forgiveness of others, but self forgiveness as defined as the recognition that whatever I think I've done bad, whatever I think is wrong with me, is not true. It never happened. It's viewed through wrongful thinking upon wrongful thinking upon wrongful thinking about wrongful thinking upon wrongful thinking. It is misperception multiplied. But just because a misperception is multiplied does not make it true, right? So right now, you want to self-accept. So no matter what you think you did, what the courts of law think you did down here, and yes, you make your apologies and all this and that, but you do not condemn yourself. You self-accept, you forgive, you move forward. Because anytime you self-hate or you self-critique or you self-shame and all of that, you are just doing this. You are further fragmenting yourself. So it's better to be like, oh, hey, I did all of that. I see all of that, and I accept that this is what I've done. And I ask my higher self or God or whoever it is for you to assist me in coming to terms with this and releasing it so that I may step into, listen, so that I may allow myself to step into that which is in my highest to receive. That's it, right? Because remember, it's not that things are not here for us, it's that we don't allow it in because what? Our beliefs, our programming. And so at the end of the day, anything that we do in terms of mindfulness and stuff has to be with heart. Heart is going to be the way through. And the energies of heart are very important because it speaks to us of union. Union with self is the same as union with God. Because what the source, whatever your word is, because what did the guides define for us back in May? I think it was in May when, or April. They said, um, God is mankind's current word. Wait, I want to make sure I get it verbatim. Yeah. God is mankind's current word to refer to a, the recognition of self that they have yet to have, or something like this. So basically, God is really us, but we're not at the level, in this level of creation here in the third dimension. We're not at that level, at the level yet to see on a visceral and logical and all levels how we are related. But it is literally us. We are God, and that's all there is to it. Right? In an advanced state of amnesia. So, anyway, any last minute things that you guys want to mention? Or okay, they just said, they verbatim, just let it go. Just let it go. Spirit will come in and do the rest. Nah. So whatever it is you guys are thinking, let it go. All right. Okay. It was my pleasure to connect with you. You guys know how it is out here. And look, you got to enjoy the, the sun going down a little bit over here with me. If you'd like to have a personal session with me, intuitive counseling, which is live, yay, via Google Meet or some video chat that works for both of us. Or if you'd like to have an intuitive card reading, that is an hour and it's a recording of a reading just for you, then you know exactly where to reach out to me. Just go ahead and check my Etsy page and make sure you look through the options that are there. And once you're ready, just go ahead and book a session. And yes, we do accept payment plans, for your convenience. And what else? Yeah, if you haven't checked out the weekly reading yet, go ahead and check it out. And until then, I will see you next time. Bye.